G'day students, welcome to Mathgotserved.com. In this clip we're going to be going over section 13.4a of our geometry series on constructions. We're going to be looking at how to copy triangles. A sample problem of what we're going to be going over in this presentation is given here. We're here to copy the given triangle. We have triangle ABC, and using a straight edge and a compass we are to copy, replicate triangle ABC, and here we have triangle XYZ constructed using a compass and straight edge with the appropriate construction procedures. Alright, so let's take a look at question 1. We have to copy triangle ABC. So what we're going to do, the steps, let's go over the steps real quick. We're just going to copy one segment, whichever segment you want. So if you can copy AC, and then we're going to construct the location of the vertex opposite that segment we copied, namely B, and then we'll be able to connect that point to the two ends of segment AC, and we're done copying the triangle. Alright? Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to start by, let's just pick side AC to start with. We're going to place the tip of our compass, one tip on point A, and then the other one we're going to place on point C right there. Let's make sure it's perfect. Okay. Alright, so we're going to copy segment AC. Let's start off by marking a point that we're going to copy A on to. Let's call that point A prime. Now the segment we're going to construct does not necessarily have to have exactly the same slope as AC. The requirement is that it has the same length. Okay, so we're going to place the tip of our compass on A prime and then proceed to draw an arc. This arc is length AC away from point A prime. So if we draw any segment from point A prime to this arc, is going to have exactly the same length as AC. Okay, so with our straight edge, we're going to use a virtual straight edge here. We're going to connect this point to this arc. We're just going to try and make it as horizontal as possible. It doesn't have to be a horizontal line. It just has to have exactly the same length as AC. Okay, so this point of intersection that we have here, we're going to call it point C prime. Okay, so this segment is the same length as segment AC. Alright, so this segment AC is exactly the same length as A prime C prime. Next, we're going to construct point B over here. Basically, we'll call it B prime, and just connect the dots and we're done. Okay, so all we just have to do is copy AB and CB on these 2 points. Wherever they intersect, that will be the location of our point B prime. So let's start with AB. Let's copy AB. So we're going to make an arc with length AB. Copy that on point A prime. Make that a little bit smaller. It's easier when you're doing the actual compass and straight edge. Alright, so let's copy that right here. We'll make an arc. Make sure the arc is located in a point where the intersection will be. If not, we can still always fix it. Okay, so this point is, this arc right here is length AB away from A prime. So we just need segment CB copied, an arc with length CB, and the intersection of those two arcs will be the location of B prime, which is the image of B under our duplication. Alright, so let's put it right there. Okay, that's the best we can do. And then place the tip on C prime. We're trying to copy segment BC. Okay, oh wow, right at the tip. So we'll make an arc here. Okay, and then we can still go to this other arc that we made earlier and make it a little bit longer just to make sure that the intersection is exactly what we want. So make this a little bit wider. Let's place it where it was before. Alright, so let's make it a little bit longer. So let's rotate it. So we're just going to extend this. We know what the point of intersection is, but that's fine. We're just going to extend this arc a little bit more. So we have our arc right there. Bam. Okay, so we have the point of intersection right here. This point is point B prime. Okay, so just by connecting this point to these two ends with our straight edge, we are done with our construction. Okay, let's go ahead and make the segments. So connect this point to this intersection of the two arcs right there, and then connect this point to this point right here. And ladies and gentlemen, we are done. Okay, let's go ahead and construct our label our constructions just to indicate how the measures of these two triangles relate, and then we'll also write what our concluding statement is. Okay, all right, so this side right here, AB, is congruent to A prime B prime, and then BC is congruent to B prime C prime. So the concluding statement is that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. All right, now what if we have a right triangle? Let's take a look at another example. We're going to do an acute right triangle, and the last one will be an obtuse triangle, okay? So we're going to follow the same procedure. In this case, we're going to copy segment EG first, locate point F, connect the dots, and we will be done. So let's graph where we're going to put the image of point E under our duplication. Any point here, let's call that E prime. Now what we're going to do is we're going to copy segment EG. All right, place one end, the tip of your compass on point point E, and then we have to expand our compass so that is exactly the same length as segment EG. So let's place it right there to the best of our ability. Okay, so we have EG, and then we're going to bring it right here and make an arc that's length EG. All right, we're gonna call this arc E prime G prime. So just draw a line connecting this point E prime to the arc that you drew. Remember, it doesn't have to be the same slope as EG. It just has to be the same length. Okay, we want to just make sure that the sides are all congruent. That will ensure that the resulting triangles are congruent also. Okay, let's make the line again. Bam. All right, so the intersection of this line that we drew with our straight edge and the arc that we drew earlier with a compass, this point of intersection right here, the terminal point, is point G prime. Okay, now let's go ahead and locate point F, the vertex above there, above segment EG, and then we will be able to connect the other two sides. All right, so to do that, we're just going to simply copy segments EF and GF. Let's start with segment EF. All right, we're going to copy that using our compass. Bring it all the way down. Okay, so that segment EF, we're going to copy it right here. Place the tip on E prime. We want to make a collection of lengths that are EF units away from E prime. Okay, and then lastly, we just have to construct an arc that is GF units away from G prime. It's going to be a long one. So let's open up our compass so that we can do that all the way out there. A little bit further out. There you have it. Okay, so we're going to copy that, place the tip of the compass on G prime, and then what we're going to do is create an arc that's length FG away from G prime. Let's go ahead and make that arc. Bam. Alrighty, so what did we just construct? Ladies and gentlemen, we just constructed point F prime. Alright, so let's connect the dots and we will have duplicated triangle, right triangle EFG. Okay, so connect the dots. Bam, right there. And then connect this one right there. So we've basically successfully copied triangle EFG. Okay, so let's go ahead and mark it. So this side right here is congruent to this side. EG is congruent to E prime G prime. FG is congruent to F prime G prime. And we have our nice little right triangle right here. So our concluding statement is that triangle by construction, triangle EFG is congruent to triangle E prime F prime G prime. Alrighty. Alright, let's take a look at one last example. We're going to draw a copy an acute triangle IHJ. Okay, so you can go ahead and pause the video presentation at this time and try this out on your own. See if you can get it. Once you're done, click on the playback button, and then we're gonna go over how to do this one, how to copy triangle IHJ. Alrighty. Okay, welcome back. So hopefully you had a chance to try it out. Let's go ahead and do this. We're gonna how about we copy segment HJ first, and then construct point I, the intersection of these two sides, and then we'll finish it off. Alright, so let's go ahead and copy segment HJ. So we're gonna place the tip of our compass, make it smaller, take it downwards, place one tip of our compass on point H. Alright, extend it a little bit all the way to the length of J. Okay, so we're going to copy that over here. We're going to graph point H first so we know where to start. So let's call this point H prime. And then we're going to create the arc that's length HJ long from H. So make the arc there. Bam. Alright, so now we're going to construct the duplicate of segment HJ, which is a line from H prime to the arc. Okay, remember this arc is a collection of lengths that are HJ units from H. So from H prime. Alright, so just draw a horizontal line the best that you can to this segment. Remember, it doesn't have to be parallel. It doesn't have to have the same slope as HJ, just the same length. Okay, now the point of intersection of this segment we drew with our straight edge and the compass construction, the arc of length HJ from H prime, this point of intersection is J prime. Okay, so next thing we're going to construct is point I. Okay, just copy, make an arc with HJ and another arc with JI. Their intersection constructed from point H prime and J prime will be point I prime. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the duplication of side length HI. So just place our compass make it the length of segment HJ. Place one tip on point H, and the other will be placed on I. Using a computer here, so it's not going to be perfect. Okay, so copy that onto H prime, make an arc. This arc is HI units, the locus of segments that are HI units from H prime. This is what you get, okay? So we want to get intersection of that and the locus of points that are JI units away from J prime. Okay, so let's position our compass accordingly. Oh dear. Well, our compass is too short. Oh man, we can't make it long enough to get to point I. So what can we do here? Alright, so the two previous examples that we did, we used a congruency postulate known as SSS. Okay, so let's take a look at those. So for number one, the three sides were the same. Okay, so the reason for this congruency is basically SSS, side, side, side. All three sides are the same. And then for number two, the reason for congruency here was also side, side, side. Okay. In number three, we have a situation where our compass is not long enough to draw the third side. So is there another way that we can copy this triangle? And the answer is yes. Okay. The only way, SSS is not the only way to show that two triangles are congruent. There are other ways too. All right, let's go over them real quick. So you can use SSS, just copy the three sides. You could use side, angle, side, just copy two sides and an included angle. And then you can also use angle, side, angle. All right. Okay, so we're going to be using the SAS approach here because this one has failed us. We cannot use SSS because our compass is too small. Why are we using SAS? Well, we already have one side and another side. If we can put an angle here, we're going to know the position of this side, and then we just connect it and we'll have the third side. Okay, so we're going to have to copy angle H. Let's copy angle H. All right, so to do that, it's pretty straightforward. What we're going to do is close our compass. It's too short. All right, so let's go ahead and copy angle H. This is the angle we're trying to copy right here, angle H. We're going to copy it onto H prime, and then it'll be easy for us to finish off the problem. All right, so to copy that angle, we're going to proceed to make an arc. We're going to mark this angle that we're going to copy. So mark it. Let's make an arc here. Position on this vertex. Let's do that again. I was a little bit off the vertex. I want to make sure it's as precise as possible. All right, so mark this arc. So what we're doing is the algorithm for copying angles. Okay, so place that arc right here. Goal is to replicate angle IHJ. All right, so make that arc. It could be an arc of any radius. It doesn't really matter. Okay, just copy it over here. Just make sure it's big enough. And then we're going to proceed to measure the length from this point of intersection to this point right here, the intersection of the arc in this segment, and that will finish up our construction of the duplication of angle IHJ. Let's try and make it as precise as possible using this computing software. All right, so let's mark it. Okay, so you see that marker right there? Is it on there? Okay, good. It's good enough. So we're gonna bring it right here to this point. Okay, that corresponds to the intersection of the arc and this and segment HJ. We're gonna place it right here, and then we're gonna make another arc. Okay, so we have just copied this angle. Well, let me show you how exactly it looks like. So we're just gonna go ahead and connect H prime through this point of intersection to this arc. Bam. Ladies and gentlemen, what did we just create? What did we just construct? By copying this angle onto this construction we have right here and extending this segment, we have just found the location of point I. Okay, so this is actually I prime. So we have I prime right here. Bam. So just connect the dot between I prime and J prime and we're done with this construction. Alright, so just showing you another way to construct, to duplicate or copy triangles using the side angle side procedure. Okay, SSS is the fastest way, followed by what we just did. SAS, ASA requires copying two angles. That works, but it's the longest method. All right, so you always want to try SSS first, and then go to SAS, and then ASA should be your last resort. All right, so we're done duplicating triangle IHJ. Let's go ahead and label it accordingly. This side right here is congruent to this side. This angle is congruent to this angle, and this side is congruent to this side. Okay, so our concluding statement is that triangle IHJ is congruent to triangle I prime, H prime, J prime, and the construction methodology that we use is the side angle side congruency postulate. All right, so that's that. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this presentation. Really appreciate it. If you found the contents of this tutorial helpful in your studies of construction, do give us a like or a thumbs up. Your positive support will be greatly appreciated. And don't forget to take a look at Mathgotserved.com for tons of support resources to help you in your studies of geometry. Thanks again for watching and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.